women harassed.
Naghain ng reklamong sexual harassment ang isang babaeng pulis laban sa kasamahan nitong pulis din sa Cebu.
Starbucks barista nawalan ng trabaho dahil nagreklamo siya tungkol sa sexual harassment.
Raped.
Isang dalaga dinukot at hinali umano ng 3 lalaki sa Navotas.
Lumabas din sa otopsiya na ginahasa ang bata bago pinatay.
Doon na tinutukan ng driver ang 17 taong gulang na dalagita saka ginahasa.
Abused.
Ayon sa National Demographic Health Survey, isa sa 5 Pilipinang may edad 15 hanggang 49 years old ay nakaranas na ng pisikal na karahasan.
And most importantly, discriminated.
In the street language, when you have children and you are single, ang tawag dun na ano lang.
Gender discrimination is the hidden monster of society because women are treated incorrectly and wrongly. But what is gender discrimination?
Gender discrimination is about yung pag-degrade sa isang tao based sa gender nila. For example, yung mga expressions such as babae kasi, babae lang.
Yung mga babae lang daw dapat ang nagluluto, hindi naman dapat. Parang
babae lang yung mga babae.
Oo, parang ina-underestimate nila yung mga kakayanan ng mga babae minsan. Tapos yung mga lalaki parang inaano rin nila na parang
superior, mas malakas.
When you make distinctions and you deny rights, privileges, and entitlements on persons on the basis of their gender, that's gender discrimination.
Gender discrimination is discrimination based on gender or sex is a common civil rights violation that takes many forms, including sexual harassment, pregnancy discrimination, and unequal pay for women who do the same jobs as men. But has it always been like this? Have women always been seen as inferior to men? No. Back at the pre-colonial period times, Filipino women were respected and valued.
In pre-colonial Philippines, women had a lot of privileges. For example, women can be priests. There are the Catalonans and Babaylans. Because the pre-colonial Filipinos believed that after God came the women and that God listens to the voices of women. And women, they walk ahead of the men as a sign of respect. And women, there are several women who are datus like Maria Uray. So in Laguna, it's the woman that holds the property, not the men. But when the Spaniards came, everything changed. Before colonial time, when their opinions were valued. But when the Spaniards came, oh, you're only for the kitchen. Oh, you're only for the bedroom. So therefore, even in church, it's very hard to see statues of women as saints during the Spanish period. The women who were priests were demonized by the Spaniards, calling them brujas, witches, agents of the devil, sorcerers. Well, meanwhile, it's the male priests that are sanctified.
After the Spanish colonization, next came the Americans. Women were once again respected, educated, valued, and they even gained suffrages.
It was only during the American period when the women began to assert themselves, and they're called suffragettes. It was during the American period where they won the right to vote. So these are the women like Concepcion Aguila, Maria Paz Guazon. These are the women who helped establish better conditions for working women at the same time work for their political rights. That's why you have people like Senator Geronimo Pecson. So they fought for equal rights with the men. Okay?
But then, the Japanese came to colonize the Philippines. Some women at this time were molested, raped, abused, trafficked, passed, killed, tortured, and seen as sex images by the Japanese. But despite all these occurrences, many women still fought for not only their rights, but for the freedom of the Philippines as well.
There are women who were leaders in the resistance movement, like Josefa Escoda.
Then, the Japanese occupation ended, and since gaining our freedom, the Philippines has further progressed, and so did the situation of Filipino women. But alas, some remnants of the past will continue to live on.
On the other hand, there's also a degradation of women's rights. If you say Filipina, Filipina would mean domestic helper, prostitute. Or another thing, women are supposed to become sex symbols. Some careers are open to women, but there's a greater degradation of women today. Very sad. And women are still overexploited. Many of the women, especially those who are working in the retail business, like in the malls, they're underpaid. They're contractual, and there are companies that prefer only women because they can be easily oppressed. Whether there's a great leap forward for the rights of women, but there's also threats to the welfare of women. Okay?
But even with these remnants of the past, we can still definitely say that things are quite better considering. We have more laws protecting women and their rights, and a huge cause for this is the feminist movement.
Feminism, on the other hand, is to assert the role of females and to fight for the equality with the men.
Feminism is the advocacy of women's rights on the basis of the gender equality, and it is also the courage of women to stand against social injustices. Its aim is to achieve respect and equality from society and to let women work independently and think for themselves. There are a lot of Filipino public figures who support feminism, and some of them are Raymond Peter, who runs the Facebook page Catcalled in the Philippines. Then there's Senator Pia Cayetano, who fights for the rights of women as a senator. And lastly, Senator Risa Hontiveros, who is a well-known feminist who calls out to the Congress to give women the chance to lead. Feminism in the Philippines have accomplished and gained strength and diversity by protesting against gender-based segregation of work in export processing zones, exposing issues of sexual harassment and sexual violence, forming a political party and other feminist group, and campaigning for women's reproductive rights. But with all the improvements that's been occurring to women's rights, why exactly do we need to support feminism? We need feminism because women still deal with common yet evident practices of gender discrimination on a daily basis, like wage gaps between genders, rape cases, sexual assaults, harassments, catcalling, stereotypes, and abuse. We need feminism so we can fight these issues to achieve gender equality for all Filipino women.
Women should really, well, not should be above, they shouldn't be above men, but then basically we should really be equal. That we should not be scared to do whatever we want to do because we know that men would attack us. Kasi, hello, kaya-kaya natin labanan yan, di ba? So, I believe in it because I know that I have my own rights. I should have equal rights with these men, and I should fight for them. And I think the others should do that too.
Though we have progressed so much, the reality of gender discrimination is very much still alive. It is the hidden monster in society that is affecting countless of women everywhere. It is our duty to come together and defeat this monster. This is why we must support feminism. This is why we still need feminism. This is why we need to fight. Fight for women and fight for equality. Will you join us or will you stay in silence? The choice is yours.